Beyond the Gates spoilers, January 12th episode recap, and emotional deep dive. If you thought last week's Beyond the Gates was intense, buckle up, because Monday's episode takes us straight into the heart of family, friendship, and the kind of gut punch revelations that change lives forever. This episode isn't just about drama, it's about resilience, love, and the messy, complicated ways people show up for each other when the world feels like it's falling apart. Let's break it down together, scene by scene, with all the emotional highs, lows, and those little moments that remind us why we keep tuning in. Broken heart, Dani's devastating news. The spotlight falls on Dani, Carla Mosley, who receives the kind of news no one ever wants to hear. She's carrying the BRCA gene. For those who know the weight of that diagnosis, it's not just medical, it's emotional, generational, and deeply personal. Nicole, on the other hand, is in the clear. That means Cott Colby, Natasha Nixon, and Martin Brandon Claiborne are also safe. Relief for them, yes, but for Dani, the news lands like a hammer. You can feel the heartbreak ripple through her as she worries about what this means for her sisters, Chelsea and Naomi. Will their tests come back positive? Will they face the same terrifying choices? And in Naomi's case, the news might only reinforce her hesitation about having children with her husband, Jacob. It's a storyline that cuts deep because it mirrors real-life conversations so many families have when genetics and future planning collide. Nicole steps up. In the middle of Dani's crisis, Nicole does what true friends do. She shows up. She comforts Dani, not with empty words, but with presence, empathy, and that steady kind of love that says, "You're not alone in this." It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful thing we can offer someone in pain isn't a solution, it's simply being there. Watching Nicole wrap Dani in compassion is one of those moments that makes you pause, breathe, and maybe even tear up a little. LAY draws the line. Meanwhile, LAY, Shaw Freeman, has had enough. Last week, we saw him talking with his uncle Ted, Keith D. Robinson, about Bill Hamilton and Kyle Durrett's presence in Dani's life. This week, LAY decides it's time for change. No more tiptoeing, no more tolerating. He draws a line in the sand. It's bold, it's raw, and it's exactly the kind of move that shakes up relationships and forces everyone to face the truth. Comic relief, Anita's scene. Of course, Beyond the Gates knows how to balance heavy drama with humor. Cue Anita to Maratuni, who delivers a hilarious moment talking about Dani's naked behind. Nope, not an ABBA reference, just pure comic timing. It's the kind of scene that makes you laugh out loud even in the middle of all the tension. And honestly, we need that, because life, even in soap operas, isn't just tragedy. It's also those ridiculous, funny, human moments that remind us to breathe. Chelsea's SOS. Chelsea is in crisis mode. She sends out an SOS call to Bill, desperate to let him know about Dani's diagnosis and what it means for her and her sister. And Bill? He doesn't hesitate. He drops everything and runs. That's who he is. Loyal, dependable, the kind of man who shows up when it matters most. Of course, Haley is disgusted. But honestly, at this point, who even cares about her feelings? She's been plotting against Bill, trying to kill him, and her bitterness is almost laughable compared to the urgency of Chelsea's plea. Naomi's urgent favor. Naomi needs help, and fast. She turns to her one true friend, Ashley Jen Jacob. Ashley's medical knowledge of the BRCA gene could give Naomi perspective, clarity, maybe even hope. Or maybe Ashley will just whip up a batch of cookies to soothe her soul. Either way, it's a reminder that friendship isn't always about fixing, it's about showing up in whatever way you can. Ted and Carlton, the long overdue chat. And then, the moment fans have been waiting for, Ted and Carlton finally sit down for a long overdue conversation. These two haven't shared space since that explosive confrontation at the nurses' station, a clash fueled by Nicole. The tension has been simmering for too long, and now, in 2026, it's time to clear the air. Will they repair their friendship? Will old wounds finally heal? Watching them face each other again feels monumental, like a turning point not just for them, but for everyone caught in the ripple effects of their fallout. Why this episode matters? This episode isn't just another chapter in Beyond the Gates. It's a mirror of real life, the way families wrestle with genetic diagnoses, the way friendships fracture and mend, the way humor sneaks into even the darkest days. It's about resilience, about choosing to show up for each other even when the news is devastating, about drawing boundaries when enough is enough, and about remembering that laughter, love, and connection are what carry us through. Final thoughts? Monday's episode is packed with emotion, humor, and long-awaited confrontations. From Dani's heartbreaking diagnosis to Nicole's unwavering support, from LAY's bold stand to Ted and Carlton's reunion, it's the kind of storytelling that keeps us glued to the screen. And maybe that's why Beyond the Gates resonates so deeply, because beneath the drama, it's about us. Our fears, our friendships, our families, and the messy, beautiful ways we navigate life together. So grab your tissues, maybe a cookie or two, and get ready. This episode is going to hit you right in the heart and remind you why you fell in love with this show in the first place.